Modi has hailed first budget presented by new Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. PM Modi called it the budget for New India.
ये बजट आशा, विश्वास और आकांक्षा का बजट है। ये बजट 21वीं सदी के भारत की अपेक्षाओं को पूरा करने और न्यू इंडिया के निर्माण में एक अहम कड़ी साबित होगा। ये बजट वर्ष 2022 यानी आजादी के 75 वर्ष से जुड़े संकल्पों को पूरा करने में देश का मार्ग निर्धारण करेगा। इस बजट से टैक्स व्यवस्था का सरलीकरण होगा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का आधुनिकीकरण होगा। ये बजट उद्यम और उद्यमियों को मजबूत बनाएगा, देश के विकास में महिलाओं की भागीदारी को और बढ़ाएगा। ये बजट शिक्षा को बेहतर बनाएगा, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और स्पेस रिसर्च के लाभ को लोगों के बीच पहुंचाएगा। इस बजट में आर्थिक जगत के रिफॉर्म भी हैं, आम नागरिक के लिए ईज ऑफ लिविंग भी है और साथ ही गांव और गरीब का कल्याण भी है। ये बजट एक ग्रीन बजट है जिसमें पर्यावरण, इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी, सोलर सेक्टर पर विशेष बल दिया गया है।
So we come back to budget once again and talk what was the budget all about. It was the longest budget speech by an Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. She began by thanking the people of India, who she said validated the two goals for India's future, national security and economic growth. She said India is on track to become a $3 trillion economy and that it has all it takes to become a $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years. To make that happen, a 10-point vision for a new India was also laid out. It was a budget focused on boosting infrastructure and foreign investment too. Well, let's begin again to know how it affects the common man and woman of India. Well, starting with salaried class, once again we show you that FM kept income tax slab rates unchanged but announced a slew of new income tax proposals. So individual income tax would only apply to incomes of above 5 lakh rupees per annum. However, the finance minister said those in highest income bracket need to contribute more to national development and raised surcharge on individual income of 2 to 5 crore rupees and over 5 crore rupees by 3 and 7% respectively. For those who are not part of salaried class, pension benefit is to be extended to around 3 crore retail traders and shopkeepers. It's only for those with an annual turnover less than 1.5 crore rupees. Under Pradhan Mantri Karam Yogi Mandan Yojana, in more than relief, an additional deduction of 1.5 lakh rupees on interest on loans borrowed under affordable housing was also introduced. Those purchasing affordable house will get tax relief of up to 3.5 per annum on interest paid. Several reform measures to promote rental housing is also in the works, as part of which a modern tenancy law will be finalized and given to the states. There's also additional income tax deduction of 1.5 lakh rupees on the interest rate paid on loans taken to purchase electric vehicles. For the ease of taxpayers, PAN and Aadhaar cards are now interchangeable. Those who do not have PAN can file returns by simply quoting their Aadhaar number. Also, Aadhaar card for non-resident Indians or NRIs with Indian passports will be available immediately after their arrival in India. This is without waiting for mandatory 180 days. So while all that is good for middle and low income people, there was also some disappointment. Gold prices are set to go up. Import duty has been hiked on gold and precious metals to 12.5% from current 10%, and on diesel and petrol. Meanwhile, additional duty and road infrastructure cess was increased by 1 rupee. So both gold and fuel are set to cost more. Banking is the interface between people and the economy, and the banking system in India has been bettered by bad loan crisis. So while announcing that NPAs have reduced by over 1 lakh crore rupees in the last financial year, Finance Minister also said public sector banks will be provided 70,000 crore rupees to boost capital and improve credit. A massive infra outlay of 100 lakh crore rupees has been planned over the next 5 years. Railway infrastructure alone would need an investment of 50 lakh crore rupees between now and 2030. FM also said public-private partnership will unleash faster development. And if you are wondering where all that money is going to come from, a divestment target of around 1 lakh crore rupees has been set. The government will invite suggestions for further opening up of FDI in aviation, media, animation and insurance sectors. 100% FDI will be permitted for insurance intermediaries. And not just that, government is also mulling an annual global investors meet in India. And finally, we come to the youth of the country, overwhelming majority who have had very difficult time. The high unemployment rate is high, and so all infrastructure creation and foreign investment will result in opening up of new jobs. But the youth needs to be skilled enough to take up those jobs, and to this end, the government has planned training of 10 million in industry-relevant skills in newer areas such as artificial intelligence, big data and robotics. There is also an untapped entrepreneur potential in the country. Startups have become crucial to job creation, so tax exemptions have been announced on funds raised for startups. The period of exemption from capital gains from sale of startups has also been extended, and to further encourage women entrepreneurs, women self-help group or interest subvention scheme will be expanded across India.
Like never before, all turned up to stamp their approval of a performing government. Through their unambiguous and firm mandate, they have reaffirmed.
And now let's take a look at what this year's budget offers to India's banking sector. The highest for the banking sector is definitely the infusion of rupees 70,000 crore into public sector banks. Idea behind this, of course, is to encourage the banks to lend more money and thereby spur economic growth. In a speech, Finance Minister also talked about ways to strengthen governance of PSU banks, something that has come under critical overall acclaim after PNB scam of last year.
Having addressed the legacy issues, public sector banks are now proposed to be further provided 70,000 crores of rupees capital to boost credit for a strong impetus to the economy. Financial gains from cleaning of the banking system are now amply visible. NPAs, meaning non-performing assets, of commercial banks have reduced by over 1 lakh crore over the last year. Record recovery of over 4 lakh crore due to IBC and other measures has been effected in the last 4 years.
The minister also said non-performing assets, or the NPAs, which have been plaguing Indian banking sector, have come down in the last financial year. She said commercial banks' NPAs came down by 1 lakh crore rupees, while that of PSUs came down by 8. Number is down by 8. This is mostly owing to consolidation in public sector banks. Finance Minister also assured financially sound non-banking finance corporations that they would continue to get funding from banks and mutual funds. Government will provide one-time 6 months partial credit guarantee for public sector banks for the purchase of pooled assets of financially sound NBFCs. And another major announcement was regarding housing finance companies. Regulatory authority of these housing finance companies, which was formerly with the National Housing Bank, has now been returned to Reserve Bank of India.
Like never before, all turned up to stamp their approval of a performing government.